All right, welcome into another edition of Catching Up with Tommy Mac podcast here on 1010XL's podcast platform, 1010XL.com, of course, and the 1010XL app. Make sure you check us out all over the place. Wherever you watch or listen to podcasts, you will find Catching Up there. You'll find a bunch of different podcasts, whether it's about Florida State, Florida high school ball, whatever the case may be, you catch it right here on 1010XL's platform, and I'm a happy camper being a member of the 1010XL family, and for quite a while now. There's no doubt about that. Of course, the show brought to you by members of Team Tommy Mac. Team Tommy Mac continues to grow. Look, I love representing businesses that I can personally endorse. I was at Solomon's Ventures yesterday, just checking it out. Man, they're basically a reseller, but of great stuff at ridiculously low prices. They had these chairs, 60 of them, I think, from like T. Gregory, outdoor chairs that you probably cost you $300, $400. They're selling them for like $45, $50, and they're in great condition. So they look for those kind of deals, and then they bring them to the store, and boom, boom, boom. You know how it works. With the Solomon family, been around a long time. It's great to see Mr. Solomon. I hadn't seen him in forever. Good morning to my esteemed producer, hardworking guy now. This guy, he does a lot for 1010, and I asked him when he got to bed last night, and it was 2:15, and here he is rocking and rolling. Grammage, good morning to you, buddy.
Yes, sir. I must say, though, as tired as I am, going to the game last night, not getting as many Z's as normal, and then getting up. Yeah, I've got nothing on E to the T.
Okay. Because he's got to be up for the early show.
That man was at the game, start to finish.
Yeah,
going crazy, doing ET things.
Yep. And
he was up to produce the drill this morning.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
Yeah, you got to do it, though.
Dedication.
You got to do it. There's no doubt about that. Well, it's a weird feeling this morning because I tell you all the time, and we all know this that live around here, when the Jags win, everybody's happy. When they lose, everybody's sad or mad or both. The ride in today, today was my day to drive in the girls. So we have my daughter and her three classmates and friends and dance mates at the school. We drive in together. One of the girls' dad's on the D line, the drums, and has been for like 20 years. Yeah, he's good. He's a good guy. Anyway, so the mood was very somber, and I was like, and she was up when we got home, so she saw Trevor get hurt. She saw the loss and whatnot. She's not a huge fan, but the whole ride in, it was like this really. I said, "What is going on? What are you guys sad about?" And they just like, And I'm like, this is really weird. Now, granted, it's Tuesday, and Tuesdays are not like as spry as they are on a Friday. But I tell you could feel like even you wake up, even my wife and I thought, man, I hope his ankle's okay. Man, that would a damn way to lose that game, and just didn't get it done. I tell you what, you got five. What do you got? 5 games left? 5? Am I right? Yeah, you got 5 games left to get playoff ready. And I don't look this whole. You know what pisses me? I shouldn't say it pisses me off because, look, I still think we have a good team. And whether Trevor plays or not, we play the game and we play to win, and thank goodness there's no committee. Let me tell you that crap. I don't even want to get into that. But our defense has got to play a lot better. Our offensive line, now banged up again, has got to play a lot better. This is another time, Grammage, that we get out physical again. And this is a sidebar of this whole thing. I was thinking about this morning. Like, ever since the beginning of the year, I've been asking questions about the psyche of this team, right? But after the Kansas City game, which was week 2, Doug came out and said we had a bad week of practice. And you're like, bad week of practice? It's week 2. You just beat a division opponent on the road, scoring 31 when you didn't look that great. How do you have a bad practice? The champs are coming to town. You want to beat the champs, right? Then, okay, we get through that. Then Houston comes. We're supposed to beat them. They kill us. And then the word is, well, we got to get out of town. We're going. Thank goodness London's here because we're going out of town, and we got to get away from the press clippings and all of this stuff. And I was like, man, this is really weird coming from a Doug Peterson team. But they go to London, they get to there, then they go on a little streak, and I'm like, okay, well, it must have worked, right? And then what happens? San Fran shows up, and we show up like we're like this. Look, I don't want to. guys get really mad because they take it personal. Nobody's scared out there, okay? But you're almost just like, you're timid to the fact, like, man, I know these guys are really good. How do I stack up? Instead of, I'm really confident, I'm going to take it to them right away, and they didn't. And then you're like, wow, this is just, okay, we get out physicaled again. Then we bounce back, and then, we have a great game. And then Houston, look, that game could have gone either way, but it was a gritty win. We found a way to win. You're thinking you're on top. But since he come to town, it's Monday Night freaking football. The whole world is watching. The light show was really cool, by the way. The whole world's watching, and you don't show up really physically. You had obviously Josh Allen had a big day. A couple of receivers had some stuff happening, of course, but your O-line wasn't very good. Your D-line wasn't very good. Your center and guard, right guard, you guys get pushed around. Hal Fortner gets pushed around. He's a big guy. He should never get pushed around like that. I just don't get it. It's like, so where is that, right? You would think, all right, now I've been there, and I'm not the end-all say-all just because I've been there, but I know what it's like to be on a team that's winning. I know what it's like to be on a team that's got the target on its back, right? We know what to expect now, or we think we do. I know what it's like where you got to prepare and show up and whatnot. And every week you have to be that physical team. There is no up and ebb and flow, with this. Oh, 1 week we're going to be really physical. The next week we're not going to be that physical. It doesn't work that way. And no matter what you have, Graham, you know this, no matter what your skill positions are, if you ain't got it up front, it's not going to happen for you. Look at the kid last night. The quarterback last night was unbelievable. Jake Browning. He had a lot of time to throw, minus, Josh Allen getting in his face a few times. He had a lot of time to throw. Again, it's NFL players. So just because their record is whatever, they lose their whatever, you're still going against a guy that's a pretty good player. Now, it might not be elite, like San Fran's elite, right? San Fran's O-line and D-line, both elite. Well, guess what? Last night's players may not be totally elite, but they can play football. And if you're not ready to play, they're going to win. Because they're just as big as you. They're just as mean as you, for the most part. That ebbs and flows. Just as capable of moving you out of the way for whatever split second it is. And you don't show up with that vim and vigor. Like, hey, wanting to in my brain is a lot different than, it shifting all the way, filtering all the way through to my toes. You know what I mean? Wanting to is one thing, but doing it is a total different thing. And once again, we failed. And look, I still think we go to the playoffs. I don't think we're going on some stupid, look, we're going to bounce back. C.J. Beathard's capable. And by the way, I don't want to hear the penalty crap. That's for the weak fan bases. That's for the ones that cry like little baby. Well, the fans or the refs. No, look, that holding call, was it long? No, but guess what? All it takes is that ref to see that little bit of oomph, and the defender who sold it like a son of a gun should have won an award. He's like, whoa, man, you really pulled me. All it takes is that. Whether you like it or not, whether you see it or not, whether you think it was just a little bit of a tug and he should have let it go, he's seeing there going, okay, you just impeded that guy's movement. You pulled his down just for a second, and he went down nonetheless. It's too bad. It was a great play by Ridley and a good enough throw by CJ. Look, I think, and we'll find out about Trev, and the severity. I'm going to guess it's a high ankle sprain. And sometimes, it's dealing with the pain of it all, that's dealing with the pain. It's not an Achilles where you just can't go. It's not like what I did with the peroneus longus. You can't push. You can't do anything with it whatsoever. So if he broke it, he wouldn't have been putting any pressure on it. And if he broke it, he's done. I would imagine he's got to put a plate in there. I would think. But a high ankle sprain is going to just come down to can you tape it up? And hey, Smooth, Jay Smooth's on. Oh, my man, Hall of Famer to be. Yeah, it was sad last night, buddy. No doubt about it. But we'll see. Hopefully it is a high ankle sprain as opposed to anything else. And, maybe a couple weeks, but it doesn't mean he's gone for the year. It's all going to depend on the severity of it. And we know he's a tough kid, so he's going to do everything he can to come back. And that was freak out. Look, Cincinnati's got some good players. That Hendrickson was saying, if I love that. That guy plays ball the right way, man. He gets after it every single play. But they're pretty decent up front. And look, our offense wasn't the problem last night. You put up 31, you should win ball games. You know what I mean? I mean, come on. That's like, that's ridiculous that we gave up 34. Defense, not good. Not good. Got pushed around a little bit yourselves. Couldn't stop the run either. Mixon didn't totally kill you, but a couple times he did. And Chase Brown went off on you a little bit. He's got some speed, but I don't know, man. I don't know. And look, you just didn't play your best. Look, we're not going to panic. If I was the coach, I'd be ripping them all, and I'm sure Doug is, because once again, in front of the hometown crowd, I don't want to say you lay an egg, because the offense surely didn't. I mean, some of that offense was spectacular, no doubt about it. Some of it was really, really good.
Trevor, before he got hurt, was throwing some ridiculous
He was throwing it down the field. He was throwing dimes. He was having a good night.
Before he got hurt, it was one of his best games of the year.
Yeah,
he was
on
kicking
fire.
Ass when he was still in the game. Man.
He was.
Oh my God, he was playing well.
He was.
Same drive before he got hurt, he had his throw to Ingram.
Great throw.
Oh my God, between the two defenders, and man,
he was in a rhythm for sure.
He was just, and there were multiple throws throughout the entire game where he had to zip it a long way. He had to drop it in a bucket.
Yep,
and he did.
Yeah, Aikman was raving about him. On the way home, we watched the fourth quarter on the phone on the way home. Plugged it through the car system. It was not bad watching it that way. This is on the defense, man. I mean, that's all I can say. It's on the defense. Cuz misses a 48-yard. You win some, you lose some in that. It shouldn't always come down to that. I'm sure he's not very happy with the way that went down, missing that field goal. Look, Jake Browning, how about this? 32 of 37, 354, 9.6 yards per attempt, 1 touchdown, 0 picks. What do we say, Graham, all the time? Quarterbacks that are in the NFL, starting, backup, practice squad. If they have time to throw and they got receivers that can catch, they're going to make throws.
Yes.
They can throw the football. That's not like this. Now, I got to give the kid credit because that's an incredible night last night. It's not just that, and he's got some ballers. Having Higgins back is huge for them. We thought Zay Jones having back, that was huge for Cincinnati, man. He is a ball. And of
Jamar
course,
Chase was just annihilating them last night. Yeah. Just destroying. They had no answer for Jamar Chase.
It's hard to answer him. And look, Tyson one-on-one, you gamble with that kind of wide receiver. And again, back to not panicking, because we all know what happened last year. I'm still a believer. I'm still a believer in Doug in the way he runs his team. And I know it sucks that our quarterback's down, but that's not, You keep playing. And you just got to get better. You got to get better up front. And, even some of the play calling on defense especially, we got to figure this out. Got to figure it out quick. Now, granted, you don't have to worry too much offensively of the Browns, although they'll be physical. We do know what the blueprint is for offenses against our defense, don't we? I mean, if you're an offense looking at our defense, what are you thinking right off the bat? I'm going into my offensive line room and I'm challenging them to a fist fight. And you go after those guys and you out-physical them, because when you out-physical them, you're going to beat them. And that's shocking, because I know we got a lot of tough guys on that side of the ball, and it shouldn't be that way. Some of those gaping holes, man, right up the middle. You just, man, what are you doing? You got to figure that out quick.
It was the first game all year, with the exception of the Niners game, because the entire team just got destroyed the whole day. That game is kind of impossible to take things from in the grand scheme of the rest of the season. But
we're going to hear this wasn't us. Those were imposters again. Is that what we're going to hear? Maybe they were. I don't know.
Outside of the Niners
game, Josh Allen played well for the most part.
Oh, yeah. Outside of the Niners game, though, which is a little bit of an outlier for how they've played for the most part this season.
Yep.
This felt like the first game where you were legitimately nervous about the other team's running back busting big yardage.
Yep.
It hadn't felt that way all year.
No. They've been very good against the run all year. That's why it was surprising.
Doug even said that in the postgame. He said that something the defense has prided itself on all season is making opposing offenses one-dimensional. And all of a sudden, you're playing this backup QB, and he's not one-dimensional.
Right.
Your defense has to be worried about Joe Mixon in the running game because they are getting some yards. They're moving the football when they run the ball.
Yep.
And you said it. It's not like he ran for 200 yards, but they were effectively running the ball when they needed to.
Right.
And that was opening up a lot for them, in my opinion, in the passing game because the defense couldn't just sit back and pick off a backup QB. That backup QB got to get in a rhythm.
You have to honor the run when teams are going to run the ball, whether they break off chunks on you or not, and they stay committed to it. You have to honor it because if you don't, then they're going to get chunks on you, and then you're screwed. But with that comes wanting to believe that more runs are heading your way, and you bite on that play action. They had a couple tight ends behind the backers open last night. Look, they got ball players on that team. They do. It's too bad for them, and I know Jake Browning had a good night last night. It's too bad that Burrow is hurt because they're a tough team. They got a pretty decent defense. Against the pass, not so great, but you know what? Overall, they get after it up front. But here, look, this is the – we're going to go through the stats, and the stats don't always tell the story, right? But just listen to this, Grammage. Yards per carry. Cincinnati had 5 yards per carry on average last night. Now, Mixon was at 3.6, so that's pretty good, although he had 2 touchdowns. He broke a couple, that were daggers, kept the chains moving.
Their backup busted a few, too.
Chase Brown, he had 6.8, so you factor it in. But 5 yards a carry, which is unheard of for our defense. We're normally about 3.8. Third down. What do you think Cincy was on third down last night? Under 50 or over 50?
Over.
For sure. 8 of 14, just barely over, but still. 8 of 14, not like our defense. We were at like 36% or 33, 34%. And legit. And I know that can be swayed on when, do we 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, whatever it is. They had, 3rd and 10, 4 times in a row or something like that, and they converted in a row. So down the field things. And then you look at. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
That means what we've said, the quarterback's got time.
Yeah. Right.
If you're converting 3rd and double digits, you have time.
There's no pressure.
That's what that means.
Hey, look, credit their O-line too. Credit their O-line too. We had let's see, they had 4 sacks, 7 QB hits. We had 2 and 4, I believe, but we had 2 sacks. And then, okay, back to the stats. We were 6 of 15 on third down, so pretty decent on third down. Not terrible. Could be a little bit better, just under 50 somewhere. Yards per attempt, we were at 8.9. So Trevor's getting it down the field as well. They were at 9.6. Of course, the Chase one, that bomb. I tell you what, pretty smart call by that offense going deep when they saw one-on-one right away. Second half, that had to be an adjustment. You know what I mean? So, going at halftime, hey, you know what? Chase might have gone to the coach and say, hey, I get one-on-one, and let's take a shot. And then Zach Taylor's like, you know what? I think we should let Jake take a shot. Next thing you know, the kid can throw the ball. I mean, look at CJ can throw the ball. That's why I'm not worried about CJ. You got to protect him. You got to run the offense. But, I'm not worried about CJ throwing the ball. That kid last night had a nice release, threw a nice ball, pretty accurate overall. But when you give him time, of course it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
You give him time, and he has Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins to throw the ball to.
Yeah. No, I know.
I mean, what?
And now I think that was the first time this year all 3 of them played together because Chase was hurt, and then Higgins was hurt, and Boyd was. They all 3 spent time on being injured. And then the one that really just shows that we're not getting crap done is 2.8 yards per carry for our offense. 2.8. That means, man, if I was the opposing linebacker and I held the team to 2.8 yards a carry, I'd have like 3 extra shots that night at the bar just for, celebration purposes. I'm being facetious. But are you kidding me? I shut down ETN and them. Look, at the end of the day, You got 5 games left, and you got to go on a run again. You got to get that confidence back. And again, back to the psyche. Like, here we go. It's like this. Now, granted, it was up for 5 games. We felt really good about this team, right, for their 5-game win streak. Not good about San Fran. San Fran. Look, did you watch San Fran Philly? By the way, my picks this week, Grammage, brutal. And I had Jags as my top pick. So disappointed. I was terrible. I was absolutely terrible. But that Philly-San Fran game, man, San Fran. San Fran, Philly, and Dallas. That's going to be fun. I'm not giving Dallas enough props, but I think we need to.
I mean, look.
Those teams are bad to the bone right now.
They are. But you just gave me 3 teams in the NFC.
Yep.
The Niners have destroyed both of them.
Yeah.
Destroyed them.
Yep.
Just absolutely
you're right.
Manhandled, but embarrassed them on big stages in both games.
Yeah.
The Niners, every game they play is a big stage. But if the Niners stay healthy, every team has a weakness in the NFL.
Yeah.
Because of the way the salary cap is structured, and every team has some sort of Achilles heel.
Yep.
The Niners is their depth. When they have key guys go down, they had that 3-game losing streak.
Yep.
When their whole regular squad is playing, I don't think anybody in the league can beat them.
I think. I mean,
they can be beat. You know what I'm saying?
I think Philly. That wasn't. If they played again, I don't think it would be that big of a. They were bad against the run. McCaffrey. I mean, they got out physical, and you got 2 of the. I mean, you got those 2 massive tackles. I mean, you got some big boys you got to move around, but they got after it. That offensive line was very, very physical. McCaffrey was very physical. Purdy was on point. So,
I mean, they're a damn
good team.
Even their non-linemen are physical.
Yeah.
Kittle is the most physical tight end in the game.
Yeah. Oh, he had a great game too.
Deebo Samuel is very physical the way he runs the ball.
Great game.
Christian McCaffrey is a physical. He doesn't always have to be.
But that's their attitude.
I know.
That's their identity, and it has been for a while now. They don't get enough credit for that. You think San Fran, you're not thinking physical, like you would maybe, an East team or Central team. But it's true, man. They are a physical ball club, and they got all the talent around it, And we got plenty of talent in this town. There's no doubt about it. But I'm not digging the up and down on how we we play each and every game. I mean, look, Doug's offense, and he admits it, right? We're pass first. We're not line you up and pound it and move you out of the way. We're more athletic. We want our guys getting you on the run, and we cut it back, or whatever the case may be, or get you sealed off and just go, we use our speed to get to the corner or, past that edge. It's not, hey, guards, take that guy in front of you and smash him and move him and then bury him if you can. You know what I mean? It's more like, I'll just get in your way. Like you watch Fortner. You even Walker. Walker's kind of he'll move people. He's very powerful, but sometimes he's just I'll just get in your way kind of play. You know what I mean? Like, I blocked you, we're good. I did my job.
It's more about not getting beat than beating you.
Yeah, instead of like finishing that block and being like, hey man, you better, I'm coming for you all game long, but I don't know. We look again. Our offensive line ebbs and flows. 1 week, Trevor doesn't get touched. Right, that's happened a couple times this year. And the next week, he's got some issues. But
again,
look, Trevor wasn't the passing offense wasn't the issue last night.
Oh God, no,
not at all, not at all.
But again, you said it. You've already you said it this episode. When a team presents on both sides of the line, when a team presents a physical matchup. And a punch you in the face attitude in the trenches.
Yep.
That's when this team has struggled.
Yeah.
It's happened all year.
Last year, too,
losses.
If you remember, Philly,
yes.
The Giants.
Yep.
I mean, second half Giants.
Look at their 4 losses.
Yep.
So far.
Yep.
Chiefs, Chris Jones basically won that game by himself.
That was domination. No
Texans, they could get no pressure on Stroud.
Yep.
Niners, we've talked about it already.
Yep.
Completely beaten up physically, both sides of the line.
Yep.
Last night, not quite as much as the Niners game, but more of the same. It felt like both sides of the line advantage Bengals.
Yeah, and by the way, now you go to Cleveland, who's got a badass defense. Baltimore's going to come to town, We can regroup. I'm not saying we can't. That's why I'm not panicking yet. But, man, hold the feet to the fire because that is not the way you play Jaguar football, man. That's just not. And, again, the thing that's disappointing is, you think of – and they've earned – they're 8-3 now, 8-4. They've earned the right to be talked about as one of the top teams in the AFC and maybe in the league. But every time they get a chance, at least this year, to show that, to prove that, you know what, yes, they don't do it. And then you're like, you know why the national media is like, yeah, I know why we're up and down on them, right? Because like last night, you're thinking, okay, what are you thinking going in? Even if you just, you're going to be broadcasting the game. The guys do a great job Monday night, but say you just know enough about the team, but you look at the stats more. What are you looking at? You're looking at running, like yards per carry. How do they do stopping the run? And then how do they do on third down? How many sacks do they have? How many hits? Maybe picks? How active? Forced fumbles, that kind of stuff. So you go in thinking, all right, well, look, this Jag defense is pretty damn tough, right? They've done great in takeaways. They've done great on third down, one of the top of the league. Great stopping the run, right? I mean, that's what you're thinking. And that's what the world's thinking. And then that's not what you show. And again, it's not the first time. This is not just the first time this year. It's now the third time for the most part, right? And the Big Five, we still got, but Cincinnati was one of the Big Five, at least in mind going in. Now, granted, they don't have Burrow, maybe don't feel that way, but out of the schedule, right? KC, Buffalo, San Fran,
Cincy and Baltimore.
Cincinnati and Baltimore, thank you, right? And where are we at? We're 1-4 right now, 1-3. And our home record sucks. Gosh, dang, that's so, hey, granted, we're on the road. Maybe we go on the road at the playoffs. It'll be a good thing, not for our fans, but, for the team. The stage was set. And again, don't discredit Cincinnati. They're a good football team. They may be vying for a spot when it's all said and done. It depends how well that Browning kid continues to play. If he plays, he's not going to play like that every week, but if he plays decently enough, their defense is good enough to get off the field and get you the ball, man. Well, they can rush a passer pretty well.
So one of my thoughts at the end of the game last night was, leaving the stadium, there's a Bengals fan talking mess, and you just lost to a backup quarterback, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it just, whatever. If fans get to talk crap if they win. I don't really care.
Yeah, right.
But I was just thinking about it. I was like, Joe Burrow couldn't have played better.
Better, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
maybe a couple more touchdowns.
But that's kind of what I'm saying is like I feel like the thought process is, man, if Joe Burrow had played last night, they'd have destroyed us.
Right.
Well, you can't destroy us much more than what was it, 22 for 27 for
32 for 37
or 30? Yeah, Jesus, 32 for 37. Like
that's whipping it.
It's hard to destroy much more than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like. So I think it's, again, we've said this more than one time. You're dealing with NFL quarterbacks, and you're giving them time and good receivers.
Right.
Even if they're backups.
Really good
elite receivers. Like probably the best trio in the league.
Yes, arguably.
You are, that quarterback is going to hurt you.
Yep.
Even if they are a backup, even if they are.
He was never rattled.
Correct.
He was never rattled. And look, you can rattle pretty much every quarterback in the league, some more than others, but you've got to let any quarterback take his time. I mean, look, Stroud did it in the first game. Purdy had all day for the most part. He got hit a few times, so it wasn't always bad. And then last night, just you give him time, and then I always say that about the quarterback. So then take it down to the line, right? That guy across from you, no, he may not be a Pro Bowler, but he's a damn good football player, and he's mean and he's nasty, and he wants to embarrass you. And if you're just going to try to get in his way or not be as physical, guess what? You're not going to win that battle. He's not going to win it.
Last night during the game was maybe third quarter, midway through the third, something like that. It was very evident at that point that the defense was not their day. They were not playing well.
Yeah.
And my mom was with me at the game, and she's always asking me, what I think needs to change if it's bad or what, that type of stuff. She's like, what does it even need to do? What do they need to do differently? And I'm like, you just got to win your matchups, man.
Right.
Like at some point, I didn't feel like Mike Caldwell called a bad game.
Yeah.
I felt like the players lost their matchups.
Yeah. Well, even when he blitzed, they did a good job picking up,
Yeah. And
if he sent an extra guy, that guy usually got picked up, it seemed.
I don't care if you have the greatest defensive coordinator of all time.
Yep.
If your guys lose their matchups, you're going to lose games. I mean, it's that simple.
Yep.
And it was the same thing on offense. I thought, it'll get forgotten about because they lost.
Yep.
What everyone's been so up in arms with the play calling all year. I thought that was one of the best called games all season.
Yeah. No, listen, our offense got the job done.
They did.
They did enough to win that game. We should have won that game based on that theory, but you can't let the other team score 34. Especially when, look at the end, too, man, just getting gashed. And you're like, game's on the line. You're on national TV. National TV.
And this team has not had a tackling problem all year, but they did last night.
They did last night. I know.
They were making a lot of bad plays a lot worse.
San Fran, they tackled bad, too.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of arm tackles.
And you know this. You played linebacker.
Yep.
What does missed tackling really do more than anything? It makes a bad play worse.
Well, or for them, it just makes their play better because
right.
But tackle.
But
from the defensive side of the ball, you
correct. Like if a guy gets a catch 7 to 8 yards down the field in space, that's a bad play for the defense, right? You miss the tackle,
then it's 12-13. Yeah.
Right, now it's a really bad play.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I do. Absolutely.
And that happened more than once last night. That happened time and time and time and time again. And you're not allowing yourself to recover from a poor play because you're making things worse.
Yeah.
It was rough.
It's just demoralizing, when they get drives on you and you get tired, long drives, they wind you down, get you winded, man. It's challenging. Parker Washington had a nice grab. That was, how he caught that ball that should have been picked. That wasn't a good throw. Sometimes though, but what I like about it though, he said, you know what? I'm going to give him a chance to make a play. He threw it up high, so it wasn't like a terribly placed ball. The guy made a good break on the ball. Should have had it. But Parker Washington, what a
great catch.
Oh, my gosh. Just concentration and seeing that ball in. Think about that. That ball's coming in, and you got people all over the place. You got someone right in front of you, and you just still see it in. It's pretty incredible.
He had a really nice game.
He did.
He did. Stepping in for Christian Kirk, getting hurt.
Kirk, man, groin, they said?
Groin, yeah.
Was it when it looked like, I thought he fell on, and maybe cracked a rib or something because the way he got tackled. Or fell down, not tackled, but fell down after the catch. But I guess maybe he yanked the groin a little.
I was hoping it was just a nut shot. And
right.
Give him 10 minutes and he's good, but it was not. I mean, he never came back in. So
yeah.
But listen,
Parker stepped up and
he stepped
filled
up
the
and
void.
Played
nice.
a really good game. I mean, the muffed punt's not great. He recovered it, thankfully.
Right.
Besides that, though, I mean, obviously had the touchdown.
Yep.
Had a nice kick return.
He did.
And had more than one key catches.
Yeah.
Key catches.
Yeah, he did.
He played a good game. I was really encouraged by it.
You gotta feel really good about him as a rookie.
It makes me feel better too about the overall depth of this wide receiver room. It makes me feel like one of the star guys going down. It doesn't mean we're screwed.
Yeah. Great grab by Ridley, although called back. On the holding, that was a dagger. That was a dagger.
And
look, I'm sorry.
Agree with
it when they see the pull, you may not agree with it. Maybe maybe you let it go. I don't know. If you see the tug, we talked about it last week, right? With Houston, the guy kept complaining. What am I to do? Well, quit tugging. We all tug. Everybody does. I mean, look, offensive linemen hold. That's what they do. But you can't hold and tug and that ref see it and them not throw the flag. You can complain all you want, but if I'm the ref and I see that tug and you saw it, it was quick. I saw the replay. I mean, it was a quick little tug, and then Hubbard, he really, sold it, and all the ref sees is tug, guy falling back, you impeded him, I'm throwing the flag.
My opinion was
Sucks, but it is what it is.
My opinion was they
good coffee.
They had allowed they had allowed both lines for both teams to get away with a lot more than that all night.
Yeah.
So I was frustrated about it because of it. I didn't feel like the call was consistent with how they had called the game, but it is technically holding.
So let me ask you a question on that.
It's hard to say that the officials jobbed the Jaguars when that was holding technically.
Yeah. Do you think when you let them play, all right, so you think that the crew gets together before the game and says, hey, we're just going to let these guys play, let's call minimum, or do you think it's just, like it kind of just happens? You know what I mean?
I don't know. That's a good question.
And is it across the board? Because if the back judge does it, does that mean the field judge, or I'm just whoever it is, you know what I mean? Does the side judge, are they all?
Right.
Well, he's letting that go. Oh, maybe. You know what I mean? I don't know. Right. I've never been a ref. I have no idea. But
that's actually a really good point. I'm not sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I would think that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about it now.
I would think, because they got to have. I know they have pre-meetings, right? And they're talking about things. I guarantee. I can't guarantee this because I've never been in one, but I wonder strongly if there is. Hey, if you see a pull, a tug. Defense, offense, what have you, you got to throw the flag. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. I don't know. You know what I mean? So that'd be interesting. But everyone's like, oh, they let them play. They let them play. Well, okay. Is it just that one ref letting them play? You know, that's dealing with the, one-on-one with the wide receiver and DB? Or is it the whole crew letting them play? I've never really figured that out. Nonetheless, you have an argument that it was a little tic-tacky of a call, but at the same time, if that's what you see, and keep in mind, we see it slow motion. They don't. They see it like that. Pull, down, flag. I don't know. What am I not, like, I guess you don't have to call it, but call what you see, I guess. I don't know. It never comes down to that one play anyway.
It doesn't, yeah.
But that would great grab by Ridley. I mean, great grab by Calvin. So it's too bad that didn't hold.
I think two things can be true at once. I don't love the call. I thought it was a little bit soft.
Yep.
I think if they don't call it, no one's thinking twice about it. Even the Bengals probably don't.
Yeah, they probably complain. Come on, the refs would. The fans would.
You're right.
The fans would complain. That's what we do.
You're right, but I think
that's what fans do.
Maybe any non-Bengals or Jaguars fan probably never even notices that was a thing if it doesn't get called.
Right.
So for those reasons and what I said about I felt like it was inconsistent, I don't love the call. All of that said, that is not why the Jaguars lost the football game last night. So I think. Both of those things can be true. You can not like the call. You can think that it wasn't great. You can think the refs should have been better in that situation.
Yep.
And you can also agree that the reason the Jaguars lost this game is because of the Jaguars' own mistakes.
Yeah, and again, that's the disappointing thing. You're thinking not maybe elite, but you're thinking we're pretty darn close, and now you're thinking, we're still a good team. We are. We'll be there, I think. We'll be the top 7 in the AFC when it's all said and done, one of the 7. I don't know where, and quite frankly, I don't really care where. Hey, what's up, Brant Boyer, my good friend, special teams coach, checking out. Oh, don't tell nobody, though. Don't tell nobody. You might not be able to be on Facebook on work time, buddy. Hope you're doing well, bud. No doubt about that. But, I don't know where, and I don't really care. And again, there's 5 games remaining. It's always, to me, the hottest ones. It is. It's not always the best ones. It's the ones that are playing the best football at that time, not making mistakes. Great rhythm, great flow, great energy, very physical. They're stopping the run. They're pounding the rock, getting off on third down, extending on third down. You know what I mean? You really got to play your best football going into the playoffs. So, look, this one hurts. There's no doubt about it. You're kind of shaking your head. I am a little scratching your head. I am a little bit like, okay, here we go again. So what team are we going to be when the playoffs start? Are we going to be that team that we've known and seen, gritty, gutty against the Texans, maybe something like that? You know what I mean? Or are we going to be, hey, one side looks okay or does decent enough to win. The other side's, they're not holding their end of the bargain up. They're not being physical. They're not moving people out of the way. You know what I mean? So get into that mode and you have a good chance. Look, you go up to Cleveland. Cleveland is going to they're going to try to pound you, both sides of the ball. I would. That's what I would do. Number one, hey, they got great talent. I know they do. But you know what? Let's go test their will a little bit. Let's go see if they can match our intensity and our physicality. That's what I would do. But a lot of teams would do that against anybody. So it's not nothing new. But that's what I would do going in. And you're going to see that. And then the Ravens are in town. Right? So we've got two AFC opponents back-to-back, big games. Cleveland's thinking they're not out of it either, right? And they've got a big defense. And if you don't think defense wins championships, damn it, you bet your defense last night better play a lot better is all I'm going to say if you're going to try to win something big this season.
I think the 4 losses in the fashion they've lost and in who they've lost to and kind of putting together all 4 and kind of what it's looked like. And then you stack that up against their wins and how they've won and kind of the reverse of that. I think
they're a little Jekyll and Hyde.
I think what it's shown more than anything is I think that there is a tier in the NFL of elite teams that all of us could very well see winning the
Who's
Super Bowl.
Elite in the AFC right now, though? I mean, KC is capable of being elite, but they're not playing elite football.
It might just be Baltimore right now.
Baltimore's
playing really good ball. Really good ball.
Yep. They got a tough team, man. Physical.
And I think, but I mean, to your point, I mean, and that tier, granted, that tier is always small for a reason.
Right. Preseason, the tier was who? KC, Buffalo, and Cincy.
Yep.
Today, December, 5th? Buffalo and Cincy aren't playing elite. Granted, one has a injury and whatnot. The other's just not playing that great.
I might, even though they're not playing at that level, I would put Kansas City in there strictly because Patrick Mahomes exists.
They can flick the switch and turn into elite pretty quickly. I think.
They did it last year. They didn't have a phenomenal season last year until you're right, they got hot.
They may be cursed this year, Grammage. They may be.
Why?
You know why?
The T Swift curse?
The Swifty curse, Mike. She's going to be writing songs about this guy soon. It's going to get in everybody's head.
True.
They're in big trouble. But no, look, I thought they would take care of Green Bay because they haven't looked good either. Remember, they lost to Denver. Yeah. They've been, and their offense hasn't been in full sync, only on occasion. It's funny, we don't talk about Miami a lot on this show, but they're a pretty formidable team, man. They got some talent.
They were another team in the grand scheme of this I kind of wanted to touch on really quick.
Are they elite?
No.
I don't feel so. But they're not. What are they, 9-3 now, right? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
They're pretty damn good. They might be right there.
What I feel like the Jags' losses and their wins have shown, what I feel like this team has shown up to this point of the season is that there's this tier of elite teams that's always a very small tier. It's a tier that, to me, is basically today, can you see this team winning a Super Bowl?
Right.
To me, that is Kansas City still because Patrick Mahomes exists, even though they're not necessarily playing that level as a team.
Yep.
Baltimore, Philly,
San Fran.
Yep. That's 4 teams.
Dallas, maybe.
Perhaps. They're on the fringe of that. They're on the cusp of that. But that tier is always only 4 to 5 teams probably at most.
True.
And then that second tier is a bunch of really good teams that could beat the elite teams on a good day, but won't be picked to.
Right.
And for the most part, are going to win most of their football games, and they're a pretty good out. That's the tier the Jaguars are in.
Yeah.
Which is a much more, it's not average, but it's a much more, there's more teams in that tier.
No, I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear. Here's
You're
the
not
thing.
separating yourself as much.
But here's the thing, though. Like when the playoffs start, any given Sunday goes out the door for the most part because unless you just you turn the ball over, you just crap down your leg. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go to the playoffs, wild card included, 2 of the hottest teams in the game typically. Now, someone gets a bye, they get a little rust. Okay, that's why I always like playing, right? Playing through that. But and I know, look, we upset Buffalo, we upset Denver. We were underdogs. Nobody gave us a chance. I understand that. I don't believe that it was any given Sunday. I just thought we were playing some good football.
I think y'all were just better.
y'all were better than they thought we were.
Yeah, y'all were a better football team than the national media understood
they thought we were.
Yeah.
Right.
The national media didn't understand or respect or know ball well enough to talk about Mark Brunell, Jimmy Smith, Keenan McCardell, Natron Means at the time.
Well, I guess my point, like any given Sunday during the regular season, factors can come into play, right? Travel, which playoffs too, I get it, but travel.
I get what you're saying. You catch a team flat type thing.
Coming off a great win, you're not going to be flat in the playoffs. You shouldn't be. Now, if you have a bye and then you start off rusty, you start off flat, but you should not be flat in the playoffs, especially if you win, right? You're still on that emotional high. You're still going. So I just think, I don't think it goes away completely, but I think it does shrink.
I get what you're saying.
A good bit. There's no Sunday, Thursday, Monday thing involved for the most part.
When you're playing the Chiefs in week 12, you might get lucky because they're a little bit flat, a little bit out of sync.
Maybe they just beat San Fran on Monday night and you got them on Sunday. I don't know.
In the playoffs, that will not happen. And by the way, another reason to your point of what you're saying that I think that is true is for especially any offensive-heavy team that's got a great play caller and a great quarterback. Andy Reid has things in his back pocket that he's saving for the playoffs that he will throw the kitchen sink out on people. Kyle Shanahan will do the same thing.
Yeah, I think Doug's got some of that.
Correct.
Obviously.
Correct. So
Philly.
Which is that further proves your point that any given Sunday is diminished quite a bit in the play. And I totally agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Which is why if you want to win a Super Bowl, you need to get as close to being in that elite tier as possible.
Yeah. That's what's disappointing. You know what I mean? Like you're thinking, like, come on. What are we thinking last night? Cincy, good team. We'll never overlook any team, especially Cincinnati, because they've got plenty of talent. But you're thinking 27. I had them 27-14. I thought it would be a tough fought game, and then we'd eventually pull away and win handily. Not, go toe to toe and have to come from behind. You know what I mean? I mean, it just, again, call it what you will. Call them flat. I don't think they overlooked him. Who knows what happens? Sometimes Monday night's weird. You wait all day long. You overhype. You peak too early. I don't know. You could just, don't show up for whatever reason. So here's the deal. Today sucks. Well, actually, after the show, it's all good. Come on, man. Life goes on. And we got another week. But it's going to be here quick. And we've got to redeem. I tell you one thing we have done. We've redeemed the losses. Play like crap, redeem the next week. Play like, you know what I mean? So I believe we'll do that again. But make no mistake about it. Cleveland has an elite defense. They're not an elite team, but they have one of the top defenses in the game right now. Myles Garrett's going to be a problem. Our offensive line is beat up. Walker Little's probably going to miss time, I think. Hey, he's got some kind of pull or something going on. We don't know about Trev, but hey, look, this ain't college ball, and I'm not going to go off on that. I think me and Graham went through it. Graham corrected me. What I put, Jordan Taylor? No, what I put out there?
You said
the kid from Colorado instead of the quarterback from Florida State.
You said Travis
Graham
Hunter.
texted me like, yo, bro, I think you meant that. Anyway, I still don't understand, sidebar real quick, why Texas is in over FSU. Okay, they beat Bama in week 2, but they lost to Oklahoma in week 6. And then Oklahoma lost to Kansas and Oklahoma State, who I know Texas beat, but they were 9-3. Like, I don't know.
Dude,
Florida State, Power 5, undefeated.
We could do a 3-hour podcast.
I'm just saying,
but I totally agree.
I think Bama should be in because I know they got beat, but guess what? After that, they didn't, and then they beat the number 1 team in the country. Of course, they should be in my opinion.
I just think you can't put a Bama team in over a Texas team when Texas literally beat them.
Week 2. I don't even think that should matter.
I don't disagree, but
I don't think it should matter. But okay, then how can they be in with a week 6 loss at home to Oklahoma? How could Texas be in? Because of that same notion. Why are they in? Over Florida State or over Bama.
It's the politicking of Oklahoma was not a team contending. It's all
They were
politics.
12th in the country at the time.
I know. I'm saying the day of Selection Sunday.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. And I think Florida State should have gotten in.
Yeah.
But I personally think they should have gotten in over Alabama.
Yep.
But
one day, you know what? They're just going to have 2 big conferences. That's what they should do. 32, figure it out. 2 sides play for the title, and that's your title. End of story. We're not going to waste time on that. But, hey, look, whatever. Hope you're – and I'll tell you another thing. I say this online all the time. And I know Boston College is a 6-win team. 6-win teams need to go to the toilet bowl at home and get better. You don't get a bowl. And by the way, these schools don't make any money on the bowl. Sometimes they lose money. So it's just a celebration or a reward for trying hard. I think that's ridiculous. 8-4 should be the cutoff, in my opinion. 7-5, okay, maybe. But 6, and they're saying that maybe even any 5-7 teams getting in. Hope not. But 6. Come on, that's average. Mediocrity. That deserves a pizza party. Free pizza for everybody. Doesn't deserve a bowl. Tell you, man, we're soft. Soft. Portal soft. Little Jimmy can take his ball and go home. I don't get to start here. I got to go into the portal. Do it 5 freaking times. What's this world coming to, man? I'll tell you what. All right, real quick on the stats. I think I went through them all, Grammage. 3rd down, again, 8 of 14 for Cincy. You can't win those. You can't win when they convert that much. And like Grammage said, all that says is that kid had time to throw, and he sure did. All right, catching up with Tommy Mac. Brought to you by members of Team Tommy Mac. I got you covered, man. I got you covered. You get thrown in the blink. You get thrown in the clink, I get you out in a blink with Chris Rucero's Bail Bonds, Truck Accident Law Firm. All they do is truck crashes, carpet man flooring. It's not just LVP, it's carpet, it's tile, it's laminate, it's hardwood. Azar Sausage Company, homegrown and down home, 3rd generation owned. Make sure you check them out in your local grocer. Some of the best meat you'll ever have. Graffiti Burger Bar. Every Thursday night for Tommy Mac's Happy Hour. But in between, go there as well. Great food, great place to watch games, great atmosphere, and brand new ownership. Outback Marine, you're doing your boathouse. You got a dream job, you got to repair. Make sure you check out Outback Marine Construction, located in Palm Valley. They handle most of the docks right there on the water in the Intercoastal. They'll handle yours as well. Solomon Ventures was in there yesterday. Go check them out for great deals. Right there on Art Museum Drive, right next to Atlantic Boulevard. J-Dog Junk Removal, a veteran owned and operated, and they take care of you like you're one of their own. They'll clean up any mess. They'll take care of all the big stuff you need moved from your office, from your home, what have you. They refurbish most of the things that they pick up, and they give it back to veteran families. They're looking for veterans, too, to hire. So if you know a veteran out there, make sure you check them out at jdogjunkremoval.com. Meat 55, another great company with great meat. Love all the sponsors. Thank you all very much. We'll see you on Thursday at the Tommy Mac Happy Hour. I got the horse's mouth that day. We'll be back here on Friday, man. Getting ready for Cleveland. Hey, I'm not happy. I'm not happy with the way this team performed, but I'm also not ready to jump off, any kind of ledge here, because there's a lot of football left to be played. And you got 5 games to get playoff ready. However that is. And I don't care who's playing what position or who's healthy, who's not. You go out there with your best and you give it your best, and good things will happen. You should beat Cleveland. Not going to be easy. Not going to be easy at all. It's going to be a very tough environment, and it's going to be very, very difficult to win. But you can win that game even if Trev doesn't play. And after that, well, we'll come back in here and talk about it and get you ready for the next one. But until then, stay safe out there, man, and be cool. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Grammage, get some sleep, man. Take a nap, would you? Hope you get one in quicker or sooner than later. All right. Stay safe and be cool. See you next time right here on Catching Up with Tommy Mac.